You've got to go, it said. Manifesting.
Go on, manifest. I want to see.
That's true. Our devices are electric, but I've given you your time. Whoa! I moved my phone and it just went...
He's running off. He's like... What was that?
Attention! All things shared in this video are simply the opinions of the Unexplained Files. The following footage is not tampered with, and all of the events and reactions are unplanned and genuine.
Good evening, everyone, and we want to welcome you to yet another episode of the Unexplained Files. We're joining you from St Peter's Church in Westleigh, where we're going to explore this nice, peaceful and quiet place. We're going to see if we can make any contact with anyone who may still be here. So without further ado, let's jump into tonight's proceedings.
Man, I'll tell you what. I don't know what it is. There's something quite just peaceful now about walking around like cemetery or graveyard.
Some of them it can be. This is very peaceful.
Yeah.
Some of them less so. But
I remember when I lived in America, there was a massive one near me, and there was like this statue that's quite well known there, and it's I think it might have been bronze unless it was stone. I can't remember. I did have a picture on my Flickr page. I don't know if it's still on there. But then where the kind of where it's had run away down its face, now it looks like it's been crying. There's just this black. I forget what it's called now. I'll have to pull the picture up and we'll stick it in there somewhere.
Stuff creeps me out.
Should we put a couple of cat balls down in?
I would say focus it on the bench at first, and then we can move over to that tree if you want to in a minute.
Let's see where they're not going to run. Should I just leave one on here for a minute? Or put one either end?
Yeah, put two down, because if one goes off without the other, we can swap them round to see if there's any change in how they react. Cameraman extraordinaire over here. The K2, we haven't seen that guy in a while. Blimey.
Cheers.
Whenever I think of the K2, I always think of that one comment. the joke about the Fisher-Price K2. I've got to put that lyric, because we were going to do a music video for the intro, because obviously our intro's got... we have the same song that I made, so I was going to have us record that and film a music video, and I was going to get a K2, like a cheap one, and put a Fisher-Price sticker on it as part of it. And I have a Fisher-Price lyric written for it already, so if we ever do that, that'll be what's coming out.
Right, let's see if there's anyone here. If there's anyone here with us tonight, could you maybe come and sit on this bench in front of us? You can move any of those devices or touch them and they'll light up, so we know that you're here with us.
This is a very peaceful and calm place, but we'd like to know if we are welcome here or if we're not. If you're here and you'd like to let us know that we are welcome, could you light up that device on the left, on the bench? If we're not welcome, could you light up that device on the right for us? I keep hearing things over my shoulder, but we're outside, so it's not surprising.
I like it here because it's quite out in the countryside. I know you've got whatever way it is over that way, some few houses and that, but
yeah, it's a very small town.
Yeah.
very quiet. It feels like everyone who's buried here probably grew up here, lived here, and passed away here. You don't tend to, or if anyone did leave, you're always coming back, kind of gives that feeling.
Because you think, like, what kind of energy might be in a place like this, and maybe if someone had passed away here and just family members came and sat here to kind of be with them for a while, whether that energy would kind of linger, you know. And now that they've gone themselves.
Yeah. Well, one thing I noticed when walking, is that bottles?
Yeah, there's a pub nearby somewhere.
One thing I noticed when we were walking around was that a lot of the graves, even some of the older ones, they're still being tended to.
Yeah.
There's fresh flowers. Right. There was a wreath back there with a robin on it, and obviously I know we're sort of, as we're filming this, it's the end of January, so that probably would have been here not all that long, like towards the end of Christmas. So people are still coming to visit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like the family that they left here.
It's well maintained.
Absolutely.
Not like that one near where we are, and it's all overgrown.
Yeah. Well, it really gives that feeling, like if people are coming here to maintain it, it's the people who are like relatives of the people who are buried here. Whereas some of the other graveyards we've been to, if you see people there, it's like you're industrial, luminous jacket wearing workers coming to do the jobs that the council are on their back for, kind of thing.
Why don't you come here and sit with us? Sit on that bench with us for a little while. I'm a bit dubious about that bench, looking at the state of it.
I'm not going to sit on it personally.
Looks like if you sat in the middle of that, you'd be going through it.
Yeah, it does have that feeling about it. We may not be familiar to any of you who are here right now. Perhaps you have family that come to visit you every now and then. Although we're not your family, we are here just to see if you want to share a message. If you are still here and you'd want to communicate with the people that could see this. Could you light up any of those devices for us?
This would even be a place I'd just quite happily come and sit in the daytime, you know, just to like get away and have some peace and quiet.
It does feel very calm and quiet.
Yeah.
But not necessarily peaceful in the way that nothing's here. More so, if there is anything here, it's...
I smell fire. Someone's got a fire burning.
If anyone is here, then it seems content and quiet and sort of tranquil. Tranquil, as our spirit talker says all the time. Which I'm going to set up the spirit talker, actually.
Can you set both of those devices off for us, please?
Oh, I've just turned the spirit talker on.
What does it say?
No, leave us.
No, leave us.
But there's no comma there.
No, leave us, go. You've asked us to leave. Could you tell us why you want us to leave?
I suppose if it didn't, it would have said don't leave us, but
Well,
this is just
I mean, I
weird
don't.
way
When
of saying it.
well, the first question I asked was, could you light up either of these devices to tell us if we are welcome or aren't welcome? And the first thing this does is, no, leave us.
We're not going to be staying too long tonight.
What was that? Keys.
Huh?
Did you hear that? That keys rustling.
I've got my hand in my pocket with my keys,
that's
so
what it was.
probably me.
I thought someone was like, someone heard them and just got keys out and they were like driving up.
Stalking up behind you.
I remember you.
Do you?
I don't understand how. How do you remember us? Or either of us? And which one do you remember?
Can you say our name?
Preferably not mine.
I don't mind if you say my name. Oh, while we're here filming, we may as well answer these questions, because one of them's kind of to do with what we're talking about here.
Yeah, well, yeah, I could do that. I mean, we can also say that the other day we hit 400 subscribers. Woohoo!
All right.
And then we lost one. So
Yeah,
we're
so
back
we're
down to
back to-
399. So if there's anyone out there watching who's got a burner account, on you go. Do us a favour.
My name is Michael.
Michael. Thank you for sharing your name, but we're not giving ours. We want to see if you know our name. You've said you remember us. We need that proof. We're not going to give you our name. That's cheating.
All right, this one's for you to answer pretty much
For me.
because it's more your thing. But Gina asked, do you guys do any form of protection before you ghost hunt? Do you think demonic entities exist, or do you feel that some hauntings are the presence of deceased evil human beings? Thanks.
Sometimes I do. Rituals, I guess you could call them. May have seen me wearing a ring on a necklace in some videos. That's a protective thing that I've made for myself that gives me confidence in my safety, and I have some things that I say, usually under my breath, when I'm in a place to say thanks to all the spirits that were there and to various other things that I believe in. I won't go into too much depth, but there are little rituals that occasionally I'll do. Not every time.
Twins.
Twins. As far as demonic, paranormal, twin paranormal. As far as demonic, I personally don't use those terms. I don't believe in that particular idea of things. Do I believe in entities of different types and names? Yes. Do I think that some can be chaotic and perhaps against you? Yes, but I don't necessarily... Christine. I don't necessarily believe that anything can physically harm you. It's more trickery, and your mind can be played with, but whether physically you can be harmed, I don't know. I don't want to say no because perhaps it could, but personally I haven't experienced that too much. I've had the odd scratch, but could have been me. Either way, I think a big part of it is mental, but no, demons and all that stuff, no, I don't think so.
Hello, friend.
Hello.
I don't know if I'd say friends. We're not too familiar with you
I
yet.
don't really do anything like protection-wise, do I?
No, of course.
I'm just happy being out here, and
I think our beliefs on like spirituality aren't too distant. It's just yours are kind of more what you've experienced across life and the different terms and things that you've come across. Mine are more set around specific titles and ideas and like mythologies and such, but ultimately a lot of the things that we think are the same, and I like to think of it is there's things going on and we all have different ways of saying the same thing. We just look at the same thing through different lenses.
Yep. I'm quite happy being out here just exploring. I get freaked out sometimes, but that's mainly because I feel like someone else might be there.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you do your kind of protection thing, I feel that would cover me anyway. So.
Oh, absolutely. Well, part of my protection is I do specifically ask for both of us to be safe.
Yeah.
And it's centered around like a belief in like ancestors and family and things like that. So I think in a way the fact that we're related, that bond is stronger and that safety is even stronger. And I did have someone ask me not too long ago in person. They said, do you not get scared or intimidated that there could be something demonic out to hurt you? And my perspective is that whatever's on the other side, there's a lot more people in our bloodline who've come before us and have passed away, a lot more of us to counter what they would do. You could have 2 or 3 big bad entities, but how many have been in our bloodline that would also be on the other side? And an army of 2 versus an army of 1,000. I know which number I pick.
Yeah. All right, let's see what else we got on here. And Laurie B wants to know, hey, is there anything in the paranormal realm that terrifies you? And do you really believe objects can be occupied by their previous owners? The only thing that kind of freaks me out a little bit is like if you've ever heard people talk about when in like haunted locations where they've heard like growls and stuff.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that freaks me out, because
Yeah.
I've always heard that could be something like negative, like demonic
Yeah.
or whatever it is, but not good. I think that's the one thing that bothers me the most.
Yeah. As far as things attaching to things, and I'd say there's something there. I don't have it fully fleshed out what I think is going on, but to the best of my knowledge and what I understand about these sorts of things, I think, like, for example, people, wherever people's remains are, or where they frequently were in their life, where that energy can pervade and persist, that's likely where people will be able to get to. Walker, it said.
Hopefully there's no one else in it.
Yeah. Are we walkers?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got your hiking jacket on, and you might look like a walker walking through.
Yeah, and the only thing other thing I can think of is, like, for example, someone owned like a bracelet or a teddy bear or something, and that was one of their prized possessions, and they had it with them all the time, and whether any kind of energy can be drawn or attached to that.
Yeah.
Not saying like negatively, but freeze.
Yeah. If this was a month or two ago, I think we might have been frozen. Yeah. No, yeah. There's an interesting thing, like people, if they've got lockets with like hair and stuff like that. In is there any attachment to that? I know there are some theories of like the way that the soul and spirit works, where simply just the thoughts and feelings and memory of a person is in some form where they are and where they can be. So anywhere where you go and you're thinking of a person and you feel an essence of that person. I know sometimes people talk about in times of distress, sometimes it's like they're given advice by people that they've lost. And I wonder if that is in essence them channeling something that's left of that person, like a vessel for that to flow through in the moment.
Yeah, I remember years ago, maybe when I was like 15 or 16 or something, because I remember like my mum's mum passed away in the bedroom that I had at the time. And I was never like a really religious person. I suppose I've kind of looked into it, but I was sitting in my room looking through the Bible at one time. Yeah. And suddenly I smelt, she used to have this little ball with talcum powder in it, and I smelt it, and I instantly knew it was her, because like only she used that. Yeah. And so I think, I imagine it's like one of them things that will make you instantly notice them, because it's, you wouldn't recognise anyone else from it. So I had a feeling that was just popping in and saying, hey, how you doing? Still about? Well,
for sure. I think I definitely believe some people can be around to give signs, and that can be done in certain ways. So perhaps if they had, like you mentioned earlier, a bracelet that belonged to them, could that be a way for them to send you a sign to think of them or to give you advice, perhaps? That might be part of it. Yeah.
And then we've got one more question from Dawn. It says, hi guys, do you yourselves believe in the paranormal? If you do, why? Do you feel like some places have a totally different vibe, a unique feeling, like something isn't right?
Yeah, I believe in the paranormal. Yeah. Buried, it says. It said hole and then it said buried.
Oh, there would be.
There would have been a lot of holes, and there are people buried here, yeah. So I don't want to keep getting distracted too much, because I don't want this to say things and then let's just completely veer away from it. But like, to answer the question, yeah, I believe in the paranormal. Why? Life experience, basically. It's been following constant moments here and there, and various faith reasons.
No, not here.
Buried, hole, buried. No, not here. Where? It's very close. Yeah. Should we take a walk up that way then? Because if it's saying no, not here.
Yeah, it can do. Dressing Dawn, yes, I believe in the paranormal. I've had several experiences of my own, which has obviously led me to want to be doing this, and just researching whether people believe it's a load of crap or not is besides the point, If you've had your own experiences, then you don't question it, do you? Yeah. And what was the other question? Whether some places have like a...
Yeah, if some places feel wrong or have something wrong.
And the only time I've really experienced that is like, which I've said before, is if we've gone to like abandoned buildings and that's more because I do
have a specific, not incident, but like I personally believe like spirits aren't necessarily just people. Like, I think
Oh,
the
yeah,
spirits
yeah.
of like nature and things are a thing and
Yeah.
exist. And I remember when there's a place called King Arthur's, which is like a spot where, you know, grandparents went to, and then kids grew up, or like they had kids and their kids grew up into their teens and they went there, and like so on and so forth, and it continued. And so I went there with a group of my friends a bunch of different times. And I remember we were trying to light a fire for one, so we were gathering firewood, and another time we were trying to build a fence, so we were cutting down trees and like saplings and stuff. And I remember thinking to myself in the moment, I shouldn't, my white saplings, I shouldn't cut those down. Those are like the fresh growing forest. I shouldn't be doing that. And I like stopped, but I'd already cut down a lot as it was already. And then like we had a time, whatever, we built a fence and then we left. Next time we came back, it like the fence was like completely destroyed. The holes where it was had been filled in, so people must have gone there and got rid of it. And years later, as I sort of came back into a more being aware of nature and spirits and stuff, I wanted to go there to kind of...
Dangerous.
It's dangerous. I wanted to go there to give like an offering and stuff. And I got everything ready, and I just had this feeling come over me like, no, don't go. It's not wanted. Don't be there. Your gift isn't wanted. You're not welcome. Stay away. And so I spent time like just avoided it, didn't go through there for a long time. And then after a while, like trying to be more aware and acting in a way that's more kind of in harmony with everything. Then I had this moment where it's just kind of like, I felt welcome again. Animal. Charming.
Could be animals around it.
I felt welcome and willing to go back. And I haven't really been back there, to be honest, but I feel like I could now if I wanted to.
Right.
And it was like, I wanted to go there the first time. And then something came over me as if to say, don't. It's not wanted. Whatever you're going to give, don't want it. Stay away.
I've had some things like that
Yeah.
throughout the years, but not any negative way. Just things like when I've been going to go somewhere and something's like, wait, you got to go and check this, and then I've checked and it was like something I'd left like unlocked or something. I was
I've had moments like that, but this was very different.
Yeah,
This was like I wanted to go there with intention of giving offering and almost being like, you know, sorry for everything that happened. But this was like, it's not welcome. We don't want it. Stay away. It was very visceral. Don't go. And I felt like watched and stuff. In certain woods and forests, I felt watched. That forest that I used to go to, where I saw that woman.
That's weird.
I feel watched in there, not necessarily in a negative way, in a very curious way, but I do feel like I do believe in like the energy of places. And
I only had like one negative experience when I was in my bedroom in Spain.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting doing art. I was just like quite normal, and then I just had this face. Yeah, I can't see his face because I've got lights in mine. All I can see is sometimes your nose light.
There you go.
Yeah, I was just sitting there doing art, and then suddenly this fear came over me, like there was something negative in the room. I couldn't tell you what or why or anything, but it freaked me out big time, and I ended up having to leave the room. It was weird. I can't explain what that was all about because I was just sitting there, like I said, doing art, not thinking of anything in particular, and then
that happened.
Yeah, weird. Right, so hopefully that answered your questions, and we're going to move on to a different area now.
I say we got that way down there, because it did say earlier, no, not here. You've got to go, it said.
You've got to go.
Go crazy. Do you have the K2 as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that will want to stand up there.
We can still see the lights then. Florence. Not quite
if that
the name.
woman's name was Florence, I'd be a bit...
I'd be quite surprised.
Yeah.
I'm going to quickly turn that off so I can see. If we are unwelcome here and you would like us to leave, would you either say on that device that can speak, or light up those devices on that stone over there?
Put it up here, because then it'll be away from any of our phone or our cameras and all that.
Hopefully it won't set off. Well, it's not emitting any crazy signals, so I'd like to think it won't set off the K2.
I always just get paranoid now about anything setting it off, like
Yeah.
anything coming off the cameras or lights or... Oh,
Thank you for setting that device off for us.
what's the lady's name? Is that...
The lady there is...
I can't read it from here. I got my
Rosamund?
I asked if
it's
that's a
not.
lady. No, it's not.
This does say his wife, the Lady Rosamund.
Yeah. So it's not her, huh?
This torch won't turn on.
Did you hear that over there?
No?
Don't know if it was
I'm
wind
not
or
too
anything.
sure. I have seen some, like, not rats, but like some ground-running creatures scampering,
Rats.
so could be that.
It sounded like quite a large...
Ooh.
I can still hear it.
I can
That's
hear
it.
wind.
Unless there's some breeze in the tree or something.
Yeah, it'd be that, because I can feel a breeze as well. If we are unwelcome here, would you light up that device once more? The one that you lit up before? Gruesome.
Gruesome. What was gruesome? What happened? Did something gruesome happen? If it did, can you light up that device again? Just touch it. Oh,
Thank you. We won't stay
away.
here for much longer, given that what I said was that we'd like to know... This is your land.
And as soon as I said that question, it went off straight away.
Are you the person that's buried underneath these stones?
What was that? Did you hear that?
Yeah, like a ooh.
Yeah. Oh, it's going off again.
I'm going to let you know now that if you're trying to scare us or intimidate us, it's not going to work. We're here for curiosity's sake. We're here to document this space and share any messages. You can't harm us, we're safe, but we do want to share your messages. If that message is that we leave, you can tell us, but intimidation won't work.
I don't feel nervous or like tense or like there's anything bad.
I'm just intrigued.
Yeah.
Like-
There it goes again.
I'm going to move it real quick because I don't know if it's wind related or anything of the sort. I'm going to put it against my phone because if I've got it against the phone, it is just like wind knocking it ever so slightly. That will gently... It's ancient.
It's ancient.
I know this land is ancient. What's your name? Let that device turn off. There we go. Now I'm intrigued because like this talk of talking about it's my land and it's ancient, is it maybe not Christian? Like this space is?
So if that was you that was setting off the device earlier, can you do it again now, please? Make that thing light up. Like you did a minute ago.
Watch out.
Beetles are about. If you're here with us, make that device light up again, please.
I heard that all again.
Yeah.
To be fair,
This
it
is a
could be an
freaking
owl.
owl in the tree.
Yeah, because that's my first thought when I heard it.
Because I know sometimes we don't hear things very well, but the cameras pick them up.
Yeah, and hopefully a camera picked that up or a mic or something. That device has stopped lighting up now, so I do wonder if the wind was rocking it a little bit.
Still funny, like, instant ask that question, it went off.
But then if these things take time, it could be that, perhaps.
Like at the Appledore Church, where it goes quiet for a while.
And then it ramps up and it comes again. No, I like this place. We might have to come back.
Yeah, well, because it's nice that it's out.
Follow us ahead. We're not going to be following you anywhere. We don't have a lot of time here left. We're grateful that you're attempting to share with us, but we don't have a great deal of time. Perhaps if you say something interesting to us, share a message, perhaps tell us who's buried here, we'll have a reason to come back to share more messages from you. Especially if you can light up any of those devices for us.
Why don't you tell us who you are? What's your name?
Yeah, I'm starting to think that perhaps that device lighting up was just the wind, because it was resting on its button.
It's possible, yeah.
So if it just rocks it a little bit, it could have been doing it. Because it stopped now, not a button, like, not a button, not anything, like at all. Yeah, that was weird. I saw something like rush like that. So I didn't know if something like a little creature was running at me from the floor. Whatever's going on with that has slowed down a fair amount. No.
We're here already.
Yeah, you're not telling us what to do. We're here to listen, to observe, not to be told.
Yeah, well, we can give it a few more minutes just in case it's like we said at Appledore, where it just quietens off for a minute and then
I think with these things, I don't mean like when I get stern like that, I'm not doing it as if to be like an arsehole, but like, I feel like when you're ordered around and you're played with, it opens you up to that fear and that concern. I think to be stern and to recognise, like, I'm here to observe, this is my purpose and it's not going to change. You're taking power away from anything negative that it could be. Or perhaps, for all I know, my sudden burst of irritation could be related to what's happening, who knows?
And I feel totally calm anyway, so I haven't got any concerns with fear or anything. Like, I can understand if suddenly fear starts building up in you, then that's when you can start.
Yeah. My only concern, the only thing I'm concerned of is someone coming like this way, like, oh, you shouldn't be here. That's the only thing that, like, I have fear of, if you could really call it that.
Yeah, I feel less.
No.
What did it say?
No.
I feel less worried in this type of environment than if I'm in an abandoned building or something.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Can't see anything because it's pitch black and I've got these lights in my face.
If you have nothing left to say to us for now, then we'll leave. I'll give you the opportunity to say one last thing, or perhaps light up those devices.
Light up that cat ball one more time and then we'll leave. Once more and we'll go.
I mean, shit, I'm going in 5 minutes anyway, no matter.
Yeah, we're going anyway. But just humorous.
18. 18. What's the relevance and significance of 18? What about that number? Tell us what it means. If it just says number, I'll be like...
Well, I guess they've pretty much had plenty of chance to say what they wanted to and...
1 minute. Manifesting.
Go on, manifest. I want to see you.
I don't.
I'd like to see you at least.
Use your energy to light up that device. If you want to manifest, that's your option. Light up the device. Make a sound that we can hear, that our cameras can hear, these devices.
Could be something right next to you now, and I can't see the screen, so I wouldn't know.
I mean, I'd rather it weren't, but you know, if needs must.
At least you wouldn't know about it till you was reviewing.
I don't know if that'd be a good thing or not.
Last chance. If you want to say anything or light up any of them devices, we're going now. All quiet. Man, I feel like
45.
really peaceful just standing here.
I feel electric, it says.
Electric.
That's true. Our devices are electric, but I've given you your time. Whoa! I moved my phone and it just went.
He's running off. He's like,
It's like, no,
"So
we're
you
not
want me to
done
move
yet.
it?" Kicks
See-
it across the graveyard.
My thing is that, as much as I would, because it said electric, I'd like to continue. You know, I set the limit that time, and it's now beyond that time, and I'm not. I think with these things, it's important to set an intention and to stick to it. So I wouldn't want to just start reeling off now, going wherever, doing wherever, whatever it says. As much as I would want to, a big part of it is like, I can't breach that because your word and your intention is very important, in my opinion. It's like when I first come here, you know, I mentioned to whoever was here, I said, like, I hope we were welcome and we come respectfully and we want to observe, and there's no means of disrespect. So, like, for some of the things it said, I perceived it to be a bit like, not threatening, but ominous. So I'd like, from coming
Well,
here
I've
with
had a
respect.
most pleasant experience here.
Yeah, we have enjoyed this nice spot. Definitely feel an interesting level of like whatever is here. If it's trying to communicate, seems to be some discourse of one is I'm manifesting, and come over here, and one is you need to leave, and watch out, dangerous, and so on. Which I don't know. Interesting spot. We'll definitely have to come back here.
Yeah, I'd like to come back, but I guess for now it's time to wrap things up and head on out, I guess. Alright guys, that wraps up another one. It was quite a good night tonight. I know we had the cat ball, it could have possibly been the wind. I was quite intrigued as soon as I asked that question and it went off, but
Yeah.
like you said, you know,
The way
once
I
was
put it
moved-
down, it was kind of sat on the button a little bit, so the wind may have been rocking it, and when I placed it next to my phone, it didn't go off again. So, you know, take the cat ball going off with a pinch of salt, because it could have been wind. But this is an interesting location. I'm sure we'll end up coming back here, because for me personally, I felt a few different like feelings in the space of if we were communicating with something, what its intention was. At first it kind of felt like you need to leave and there's dangerous things here, as if it was a warning. The other kind of felt more like it was trying to entice us and lead us towards spots or things. So I'd definitely like to explore that further, but all in all, pretty good night.
It was awesome, yeah. But yeah, anyway guys, we're going to head off. Do you want to do your
Yeah, for sure.
spiel?
As I always do. So before I forget, I'm going to stick an iCard, a few in fact, up in the top corner so you can check out some of our other playlists. We have 3 or 4 playlists in total. We have a Case Files playlist where we cover particular haunted events or creatures or beings or tales. We give some information on the history of them and people's encounters with them and make them quite dramatic so you can enjoy the feeling of tension and the horror that comes with that. We have a Reacts playlist where we've reacted to our scariest moments. We've reacted to some most haunted clips, some clips of supposed sights of black-eyed children. We have this investigation playlist where you can look at other places we've visited and other experiences we've had. And we have our shorts playlist, which are some of our favourite clips condensed for your convenience. So if you want to check any of those out, you can click the iCard on the top there. And other than that, we thank you for watching. If you enjoy this content and you have friends that you think would enjoy the content or family, feel free to pass it on. We'd very much appreciate it. They can hit the subscribe and catch up with all of our content. Likes, comments, and all those things are always appreciated. Comments, always appreciated. And we hope you enjoyed this evening's video, and we hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Peace.